Hello and welcome back to the Scotch Podcast, episode 31. Today we are joined with the Caledonian Coordinator, Mr. Graham, and one phenomenal piper, Sophie Sorensen. So first of all, let's just kick right into it. How did you guys join Caledonian, Mr. Graham?
I guess the first year I was at Scotch, I got involved in Caledonian as my co-curricular activity. So at that point, Mr. Massey was in charge of Caledonian. I've played pipes for a long time. I started when I was back end of primary school. Played in a lot of pipe bands when I was in Scotland, and I guess coming to Scotch, it was a great opportunity for me to actually get back involved and play pipes, because I hadn't really been playing pipes for a while until I came back, until I started working at Scotch. So I was involved in just being a piper in the band, somebody standing up the back and not really too involved in too much. And then eventually I became the coordinator of Caledonian when Mr. Massey took over as the head of humanities, and the rest, as they say, is history.
I got involved when I, in year 5, got offered to start learning. I grew up playing multiple other instruments, so it was just another one where I thought, why not give it a crack? Originally I was going to do tenor drumming, and then
I actually remember your mum talking to me about, I've got my daughter, she's really keen on doing tenor drumming, and I was like, nah, you want to do bagpipes. Definitely want to do bagpipes.
Drumming's better, but okay.
No.
And so Caledonian, not only is it a great musical experience, it's also a great travelling experience, and recently gone on a trip. Would you like to tell us about that one, Sophie?
Yeah, so this year we got to go to Tasmania at the end of term 1 for a week. We spent the first 3 days in Launceston, staying at Launceston Grammar School with Mr. Bennett in the boarding house, and then the next 4 days in Hobart.
So it's probably the first time that we've been away since 2019. So I don't think there was anybody on the trip who'd previously been away with Caledonian, which is kind of unheard of, and it was more a kind of byproduct of what happened with COVID and travelling. So it was from our point of view as tutors, it was great to have for you to get the experience of coming away and doing performances in different places. So I thought Tasmania was fantastic.
And what were some highlights of the trip? You need to tell us everything. What goes on a Caledonian trip?
Touristy stuff, lots of fun there. So we did four or five? Five performances all up. One at a nursing home in Launceston in what was probably a 40-degree room. It was very warm.
It was very warm. I remember going in and talking to the organiser who we'd been in contact with before, and I just walked in. It was just this wall of heat, and I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a warm one tonight. But you know what? The residents there, they were so grateful for us coming and actually performing.
They were very lively.
They were loving it.
They very much did enjoy it, which was great. And I think it was an ideal performance to kind of kick the tour off, because that was on the first night. So we'd only been in Launceston for maybe about 3 or 4 hours. So like getting out and actually doing a performance, I think it probably settled a lot of nerves for people as well. Playing somewhere a little bit different to what we performed before. So I thought that was a good way to start things. We then played the next day in a park in Launceston. Beautiful sunny day. Mr. Bennett came along, and we had him crying when we were playing the Gale, which was good. But it was great to kind of see some of the people who'd been at the performance the night before actually came out to watch as well.
Or they had friends or family that were coming along to the next one.
Yeah.
And we had a random piper who happened to be playing at I think he was at a wedding not too far away, and then heard the pipes and came down and introduced himself. So there's
I didn't know.
Yes. Yeah, I was talking to him for quite a while. I think it was probably when you were.
We went to see the monkeys.
I think it was when you were seeing the monkeys.
That was the highlight of that part.
So
the monkeys.
Yeah, that was a little bit random. Just in the middle of the park, there was just this monkey enclosure, which I think you all enjoyed.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I loved it.
What was your favourite performance, Charlie?
I think it was Mona. I had quite a bit of fun there.
Mona was definitely our best one. I think that was the one where we didn't stuff up the most as well.
I don't think we stuffed up too much.
Yeah, but like in terms of from the piping perspective for me, that was, I think, my best one.
Yeah, I think we can be our own worst critics.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy with most of the performances, but Mona was fantastic because I think probably just the backdrop and we were playing just where the ferry kind of came up, so there was everybody coming off the ferry, and again we bumped into, there was a guy in like full motorbike gear came up and had a chat with us, and he was an old collegian from like the early 80s, so it was just like Scotch colleges everywhere. So.
And we weren't even the main attraction at Mona, because do you guys remember what happened at 2 p.m?
Oh, a
Can you
thrilling
explain?
experience.
I think you're talking about the musician who was writing his own stuff. Is that?
No.
That's the 4 p.m. concert.
right.
That was my favourite exhibit. No,
Yeah.
throughout the day, multiple times, they have a poo machine there. They will feed it, and then over the course of however many hours, it'll then have a live demo, and it gets very crowded in that room, and it was honestly
Quite
underwhelming.
anticlimactic.
I was expecting much more.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
It was, yeah. It was busy. I think that was probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But it was, just a little bit different. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. There were some really interesting things. I really enjoyed like the waterfall that was kind of coming out.
Spelling out words.
Lots of different.
The words.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was the musician who would write a new piece of music live every day, and I think that wasn't even 1 year of him doing it yet. And then he would perform it at 4 p.m. at a little bar set up, and it was really cool because you could go and ask him some questions, but you saw on a screen down below all the annotations he was making in the music and actually writing it out and testing it as he went.
Yeah, but the cool thing about Mona was they actually treated us like professional musicians, so like we had our own green room and things like that.
Quite small.
It was a bit kind of cozy.
Tight.
But look, I thought it was great to get the opportunity to perform somewhere like that, and we definitely had a really good crowd. So again, I was really happy with it.
It was awesome.
I also really enjoyed our cafe performance on the last day. The weather may not have been quite great, but we had a lot of fun, and it was nice to just perform for locals, and that was obviously a last minute performance we had, but it was so much fun to do.
So there's normally, my understanding, there's a like Celtic festival there. So I was actually talking to a lady just after we'd finished playing, and she lives. I think she lived fairly close. So she heard the pipes and drums, packed her like shopping up, and then came back out because she was expecting to hear like lots of different bands. So as you said, there was a lot of local people, a lot of tourists as well, because I think Richmond is quite a touristy town.
The hotel we were staying at, after we'd done the Richmond performance, it was the final morning. I was going down the elevator, and somebody at the hotel had been at Richmond and seen us perform, as well as a couple times the other day.
And I think we had, again, I think in the hotel there was people that had seen us performing at like Mona and in the park.
Well, they just thought we were celebrities. Like, one girl came up to me and she was like, take a photo, and then she airdropped me the photo, but it was two different people of a different Pipe Band members, and that was quite fun. That was quite interesting. And then, as all great things have to do, the trip had to come to an end, and on the flight home, two incredible things happened. First of all, the new Taylor Swift album came out, and I remember being on the plane, and then it was right, and our plane got delayed from Hobart, and it was right when, like, the album came out, we were about to land, and me and a certain other person who I'll keep nameless for now, it was also Neve actually. We turned off our aeroplane mode, and we were just refreshing till we were like low enough to get the service, and then I was like freaking out, and then I hear Mr. Graham go, "Is your phone on aeroplane mode?" And I go, "Yes." And then he goes, "How were you listening to it?" And I go, "It's just the plane Wi-Fi." And then we just spent the whole plane reacting, and then we got to Adelaide. We'd finished the album, and then a second one came out at once. And
it was when we were on the tarmac. That was announced.
And what happened on the tarmac?
We were delayed coming in because there was a turtle on the tarmac.
There was a turtle on our tarmac, everyone.
Yeah.
And now Caledonian doesn't just perform interstate and overseas. We perform here at school too. And we've actually got our big flagship performance coming up. Would one of you like to explain what that is?
So every year we host a ceilidh, and a ceilidh's basically just like a Scottish barn dance. You come along. It's a little bit different here from what a traditional ceilidh would be like in Scotland. So in Scotland, there would basically be just dancing all night. So at our ceilidh, we have the band perform, the dancers do lots of different dances. We have some fun novelty kind of things happening. We get people up doing a bit of disco dancing. That tends to be quite popular. Our MC is Ethan Miotti, so it's always entertaining when Ethan gets up and starts doing time warp.
Time warp or wine,
All of
anything.
them.
Actually, no, anything he does.
Yeah. So, and I think we're going to have an address to the haggis, which Ethan's going to be doing
Oh,
as
no.
well. So
With an actual haggis there, or
I think there's going to be an actual haggis, yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't think we're going. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to eat it or not.
Let's not
So,
eat it.
what do you mean we're not going to be able to eat it?
Oh.
Haggis is a delicacy.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
And now, let's play a quick game. So, the word ceilidh. Sophie, I would like you to say how you've heard people spell it.
How I've had
Spell it or
people
say it?
spell it. People spelled it Kaylee.
Mr. Graham, how's it spelled?
Ceilidh.
That is correct. And now, when I was a kid, there was a dance called the Chanteuse. I thought it was spelt Chantruse. It was not. Do either of you know how that one's spelt?
I write it down often enough. It's SEANNTRUIBHUS, I think.
And it's like 2 words. And I never got that right. And we did cahoots. And I would go, what is the Chanteuse? And I'm like, I don't know what this word
Who's
means.
won the Kaylee Cahoot the last couple of years?
Rhys Davies. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get him to write the quiz this year, so that he's
That might
actually
be a bit
banned.
difficult.
He's banned from actually entering it. So yeah, he just knows far too much about pipe bands and all the kind of stuff. I think I've just talked to him too much about bands and things.
Clearly.
like that. So, yeah. In terms of the ceilidh, so you're talking about chantres, you're talking about ceilidh, both Gaelic words. So the language is a little bit different to what we would normally use in English.
And what are some of your other favourite performances we do throughout the year?
Christmas pageant
No.
always is.
I
It's so fun.
I really enjoy doing like Remembrance Day up at Centennial Park. I think events like Remembrance Day, Flag Laying, Anzac Day, to be honest, they're maybe not the ones that you might think of, but they're probably the ones that kind of hold the most in terms of getting out and actually students doing service.
It is really nice because the pipe band connects to the heritage of the school, that we get to do the really impactful and meaningful performances, and it's really fulfilling every year.
Absolutely, and I think probably when you join Caledonian, or when you start learning pipes or drums, you don't really think about those things. It's more about kind of learning the instrument, but it's something that I've really thought about over the years, and I think it's something that our students in the band get a lot out of, and especially when you talk to maybe some of the people that come along and watch these performances, they really, really appreciate the fact that we're there and we're doing that, and there's that connection to the college. So they're the ones that kind of hold the most for me, to be honest.
And I know pipe band's a really unique experience where it's not a lot of students, but you're all very well connected, and it's not year levels, it's just you're there to perform some Scottish music. And I know personally, like when drummers are doing something together, I don't look at it as I'm year 11, I'm with the year 11 drummers. I just see, oh, you're a nice person, I'll come drum with you and just have a lot of fun. And that's a great aspect as well.
And I think that's kind of one of the unique things, because if you look at the spread of ages that we have coming to band practice, I mean, we've got a junior school drummer in year 6 now, all the way through to, we have old collegians come every week. Donald, I don't want to say, I'm not sure how old Donald is, but Donald's been an old collegian for quite a while. And he comes along, and I think it's great for the pipers that we've got Donald and Sam. Sam's, again, another older gentleman who comes along, and it's great to kind of mix with different generations. It's just a unique experience that you don't get in everything. And if you look at dancing, we've got dancers from like reception all the way through to, again, we've got some old collegians who come along and dance. So when we put the performances together at the Cayley, you have just such a diverse range of ages. And as you said, Charlie, going away on the trip, you really get to know people, not just in your own year level, or in your own house, but you get to know people really well across a range of year levels, and it really becomes like a family.
One of our tour guides on the trip was actually shocked by how like wide our year levels were. At Port Arthur, he was like, "There's a lot of like age gap between you," and I think he was really impressed by that we can be such a.
He also thought we were all Tasmanian, though.
Yeah,
we were
from Scotch
we were the
Launceston.
Scotch College Oak Bank History Club. As I decided, we had been doing fundraisers to earn enough money to come visit Port Arthur. This was the story I made up in my head until someone decided to ruin it and tell him that we were actually from Adelaide. So thank you, whoever did that one.
That would be me.
So you ruined my fun.
Starting some beef.
We also had our leftover jumpers from the Adelaide school, which we decided to wear, even though they said Adelaide and we were from Oakbank. Yeah,
I think but it might have been like the yellow on the white.
I really developed this story. I was having a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Port Arthur was actually, I
That was
really
so
enjoyed
cool.
Port Arthur. And I guess one of the other things about going away, when I was like putting together the itinerary for Tasmania, you don't really appreciate on the map how far things actually are, because you can go, oh yeah, it won't really take us that long to get there. And then
There was lots of driving.
there was a lot of driving.
Yeah, the drive from Launceston to Hobart, we all did in our pipe band uniform because we had to get, as soon as we got to Hobart, we were straight to Mona and outperforming.
Yeah, but I think the good thing about having all that driving is it just gave us all an opportunity to catch up on a few.
Sleep.
Yeah, a little bit of sleep because it was fairly intense.
There was also the time when it was on the drive from Launceston to Hobart. You said, "Everyone get off our phones and let's play a game of I Spy online." And there was about 500 messages of you all just playing I Spy. And that was quite
fun.
entertaining to have to
I Spy,
go back and check my notifications.
I Spy via WhatsApp.
Yeah,
That was great.
it's quite good.
Only Caledonian.
Yeah, it was. I think that was the day we went to the caves, wasn't it?
That was the date because it was on the way from the caves to the zip line.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the zip line?
I did enjoy the zip lines. It was quite scary, but I got across and didn't have to get pulled in, so that was a win.
There were a couple people in my group, all but 4 of us had to get pulled across on that last one.
You came in so fast, Mr. Grant.
Yeah,
you came in like smacked it.
The thing is, like, if you have a little bit more of a weight advantage, you travel that little bit faster. That's a little bit of physics for you, Charlie.
Yeah.
So one of the instructors, because you were in the same group as me, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the instructors went across first, and then I think I was the last one
Yeah,
before
you
the
were.
other instructor. And he said to me, "Oh, if you want to get a little bit more speed, just make sure your arms are nice and straight, and just like pull your legs up, and you'll just fly." So I thought,
Fly is what happened.
I thought, yeah, why not? And then I'm getting really close to the other platform, and I just see these flying arms. Slow down, slow down. But it was quite funny.
Do you reckon you broke a record for the speed?
No, probably not. But I think I almost done like a backflip, kind of. I came in and it was like, yeah, but it was so much fun.
There's some awesome GoPro footage of it.
And I know me and the whole Caledonian Corps are so grateful for you to being able to organise it for us and taking us on such an incredible week filled with great performances, great venues, great places we visit, and most importantly, the Launceston boarding house cookies, because
they were so good.
were a highlight.
Yeah,
That chef
the
deserves better.
I'm not going to lie, the food in Launceston at the boarding house was just...
We were being fed.
Oh, it was... I really wasn't sure what to expect, and I said that to Mr. Bennett the day we were leaving, because you just don't know. But it was like... Yeah, it was amazing.
He let us make our little snack packs
Yeah,
for the
snack
road.
packs for the road, but there was also the snack packs for like at night and stuff, because we'd have dinner, cookies and dessert would be out straight away, and then we'd still be up for another like 4 hours or so.
I would just keep going back and taking another. And then by the morning I was like, where would they all go?
Lots of people have eaten them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Charlie, you managed to get a room to yourself away from the rest
Oh,
of
that
the
was
house.
amazing.
Yeah. Nice and, well, I would say nice and quiet, but...
I could hear everything.
How did you find the laser tag? I think you were quite loud and intense then.
Intense. Shout out to the poor people in that one special game of laser tag we played where it was the one where you had to just shoot the one person.
Yeah, so...
And I know, like, me and Hamish Prentice would just go and we'd just shoot one person the
Yeah,
whole
no,
time and
so
they'd hate us.
Yeah, so as soon as you
Nuts.
figured out whoever that person was, you just chased them for the entire round and would just start shooting them.
See, what we could see, because the staff weren't involved in it, so we were
Too scared of us.
No, we were sitting outside just watching it all unfold on the screens because there was several cameras.
Did the cameras have sound?
Oh no, you didn't need it.
We didn't. No, we could hear the sound.
Okay.
The walls weren't that soundproof, to be honest. But Angela Scalzi and Chloe Sorensen would hang about the base and just turn their heads around the corner and just get everybody.
Callum was the silent assassin though.
Yeah.
Like,
I
he
was
came
awful.
in and pretty much everyone was out.
You need to watch some of these younger students. They're just very savvy.
I
with
think I
these
came
things.
last in the points every single time. I could get no kills.
Yeah, it was quite funny.
Well, any last things to say about Caledonian? Any little inside jokes? Anything that might need to be brought up?
I think you should say, why do you think people should join Caledonian?
So
Charlie?
why should people join Caledonian? It's just a question I've come up with here and now.
No, I was asking you.
Oh, me? I think people should join because there's such a wide range of amazing things we get to do. They're fun instruments to play. It's just a great time.
So when did you start in Caledonian, Charlie?
I've
I've turned host, I'm sorry.
I did the dancing back in year 2 and I did that all the way until, I still do that now, but in year 8, I remember I was sitting on a bench waiting to get picked up from school, and like this was a couple of weeks in a row, Mr. Graham would go, "Or Charlie, would you like to join the bass?" No, that's not Scottish. "Would you like to be a bass drummer? Because our one's about to graduate." And I said, slowly I said yes. And then here I am now.
I think your first practice was like, it might have been for the Kaylee, your first practice or something like that on bass drum.
I think I joined,
Because the stage was set up.
I
then.
started drummed for like the last 4 weeks of term 2, joined for term 3 and was in by Founders Day.
So was Natalia the bass
Yeah.
drummer at that stage? Okay, so
Yeah.
we were looking for, so I was kind of like,
Desperate.
who can I target that would be...
The dancers.
Who can I target that would be interested?
Poaching.
And might have good kind of rhythm. We'll go for it. Charlie. So, yeah, and there we go. Charlie's been our bass drummer ever
With those
since.
compliments to me, I think that's about time to wrap it up. So thank you so much for being on this episode. Everyone remember, Caledonian is amazing. You should join.
Before you finish, okay? So, if you do want to join Caledonian...
Shameless plug.
Absolutely. So Caledonian is one of the only kind of groups in the school where we don't actually charge anything for lessons. Okay, so lessons happen. We've got Highland dance lessons, we've got pipe lessons, we've got drum lessons. Happen every week. Piping lessons, maybe small groups, maybe individual once you get into Turns Park campus. Highland dance is very much group lessons, but we start Highland dancers from like reception all the way through to year 12. So you can start really at any stage. Drumming tends to be more group lessons as well, but fantastic opportunities. You've heard us talking about travel. We're hoping to be able to go back over to the US maybe next year. We're still doing a little bit of investigation about that. But like in my time with Caledonian, I've been away 4 times, twice to the States, once to Europe, and obviously to Tasmania. So
Go Tasmania.
We do try to take the group away and just do something a little bit different. So if anybody's listening and they are at all interested in playing pipes or drums or dancing, speak to one of the students who is involved currently, or talk to me, or talk to...
Griggles.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie.
Well, thank you everyone for listening. See you in the next episode.